So there's this young boy, little boy named Lil Rt, and he has a rap song out. And what this shows you is how hip hop culture, I'm not going to call it black culture because people like to denigrate black people and say this is black culture. No, this is not black culture. This is hip hop culture. And unfortunately, hip hop culture has been pushed upon certain segments of people who happen to have skin like mine. And people who adhere to this type of ideology, that adhere to this mentality, would have this little boy who's probably 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 years old, rapping about the most vulgar, the most vile, the most misogynist, the most degrading of women lyrics that you've heard. And it's coming out of the mouth of this little boy. So when you hear that, and I know you probably couldn't hear most of it because I had to silence a lot of the vulgarity in it, but if you want to see some of the lyrics in this little boy's song, the song is called 60 Miles. Who fed this little boy these lyrics? That's my question. Who fed this little boy these lyrics? This is child abuse. Who would allow a child to do that? You know what this shows? This shows you the lack of a biblical worldview, number one, but also shows you that the lack of a male leader in that household, a true male, a biblical male, a masculine man, not these men that are in his commercials, not these men that are probably pushing this boy to do this, but true masculine. See, this is toxic masculinity defined right here. This is toxic masculinity. And this is the type of masculinity that we push back against, that we fight against. This is toxic masculinity. This is not the kind of masculinity that leads to the human flourishing of the family, the human flourishing of a society. This is destructive. I can't even show you these lyrics. It's just so disgusting. I can't even show you that. This stuff is so disgusting. So disgusting. And yet you have people out here listening to this stuff, sharing this stuff, dancing off of this stuff, and saying how cool it is for this little boy to be doing this. We should be ashamed. No, check that. They should be ashamed. But it's because of the lack of a male leader. It's the lack of men stepping up in the community. This is what you get when you have a matriarchy, a feminine-driven culture. This is what you get because you have young boys who are growing up without the covering of a man, so therefore they're learning how to be men from folks in the street, and those folks on the street are not going to teach them how to be a real man. So he'll walk around singing this stuff, rapping this stuff. Can you imagine that little boy when he becomes a teenager, the things he'll get into? Just imagine that. It's sad. I pray for this boy. I pray for Lil Rt. I pray for a godly man to come into his life to show him what it means to be a man. I pray that he would turn and get his life in line with what God wants his life to be. Because right now he's headed towards the path of victimization. And I don't want him to be a victim. We're not victims. We are empowered for greatness.